and more. And my name is Rob Daniels, and thanks so much for being along here. As you can see in the background here, we're on the Barn Burner Network and ZINGOTV channel 250. The background still says the Autograph and Memorabilia Show, but we have rebranded to the Sweet Spot, which is memorabilia, autographs, and more. And I'm so excited about that. And I'll do a recap on that rebrand and why I've chosen to do that coming up on the show shortly here. So this is the week of November the 23rd. It is Thanksgiving week in the US. So happy American Thanksgiving to our friends south of the border. It is also a very important week in Thursday night football, and it's going to be, well, all day football on Thursday. If you're a huge football fan, you're going to love that. If anybody is booking the day off on Thursday, chances are it's because they're going to watch football all day. That's my feeling anyway. So here we are, another week, 23rd. We're on November the 24th, and so we're on Barn Burner TV, the Barn Burner TV network, and we're also on, let me just try and fix my chair here. I'm supposed to be, I want to make sure I get the show title in there, even though we're at the Sweet Spot now, just for this week. All right, so that show title will change next week. We're in the midst of changing the background drop for the Autograph and Memorabilia Show to the Sweet Spot, but more on why one of the networks is not with us this week. So we are on the Barn Burner TV network and ZINGOTV channel 250 this week, and TSN 1150 will not air the Sweet Spot this week due to that American Thanksgiving I was talking about, and how football will essentially be taken over the airwaves at TSN all day there in Hamilton on Thursday. So the Sweet Spot will return to TSN 1150 at 7 p.m. on Thursday, December the 3rd, which I hope to have, who is like 99.5%. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he's confirmed. I'm fairly certain. He in my last text message with him, he did confirm with me that he will be my guest. It's actually my coworker from 1029 K-Light, Mr. Darren Laidman. He is fantastic. Hold on just a moment. I'm going to adjust how I'm sitting. Okay. So Darren Laidman is why do I feel like I'm not? Okay. There we go. Am I on the screen or am I not on the screen? Maybe it's better to go this way. I'm trying to get placed a little better. There we go. So Darren Laidman is my coworker at 1029 K-Light in Hamilton. He's amazing guy. And he is like the king of Hamilton when it comes to media. And he is like a big teddy bear to me. He's like a father figure. Another father figure. He is someone you can bounce ideas off of. And he's got a certain hockey card that he wants to talk about, share this story next week on the show. And I can't wait to talk to him about that. It's a very unique hockey card. So he's going to talk about that next week, and I'll sort of try and pick his brain on that. And other than that, I wanted to say, so that's next week's guest, okay? So next week's guest, Darren Laidman from 1029 K-Light, and that'll be the week of November 30th, okay? So the show will air on December the 1st on the Barn Burner Network and ZINGOTV channel 250, and then on December the 3rd, which is the Thursday at 7 p.m., that's when the show will air on TSN 1150. By the way, if you ever have any questions about the Sweet Spot and memorabilia, autographs, and more, you can always send me an email, robdanielsonair@gmail.com. My guest today is Aaron Zaretsky, who is such a fabulous guy, and he's going to be joining me at about 12:25 this afternoon, okay? Aaron Zaretsky, fantastic guy, and he was my student, actually, at Seneca College. I had the the privilege, I don't know how you say it. Is it the privilege? No, I'm so eternally grateful. That's what I want to say, for the opportunity to be able to be an influencer as a teacher, a professor in a community college classroom. And he was one of my great students. I picked up on him having a lot of passion about sports, and he has a collection himself. He's a casual collector, but he wants to share a few stories today on the show. And I can't wait to hear those stories on today's show. Again, his name is Aaron Zaretsky, and you may have seen the post. Actually, I threw it up on Facebook. If you follow me under Rob Daniels, or on Instagram at Rob Daniels 1983. And you'll see there's a photo of him and a DeRozan jersey. So I'd like to know the story behind that, and he might have some more as well. Him and I actually do a little bit of work behind the scenes on game days at the Rogers Center for Blue Jays here and there. So I see him around the ballpark from time to time, and he was my student. So I think it's going to be fantastic to be able to reconnect with him, connect with him in this, I guess, this new world that we're in, virtual world. I haven't seen him since last season at the ballpark. So it'll be nice to talk to Aaron, and hopefully he'll stick around to take a listen to some of his stories behind his collection. 12:25 this afternoon, Aaron Zaretsky. It is 10 minutes after here. You're listening to The Sweet Spot. Autographs, memorabilia, and more. And we're on the Barn Burner TV network, and we're on ZINGOTV channel 250. And thanks so much for carrying the show on social media as well via the Barn Burner network and Joseph Pesach page and Eduardo Harari. Big shout out to those two, the technical producers and hosts as well on various shows. They have a lot of talent, those two, and I've never met harder, more dedicated workers in my life when it comes to the media. So these two are awesome. So thanks to those two, and thank you for watching today. Without you, this show cannot be possible. You, the viewers, and you, the listener. So thank you again. So let's talk about the rebrand and why right now you're looking at the backdrop as the Autograph and Memorabilia Show. We touched on this last week when I had Scott Crawford on the program, the Director of Operations at the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in St. Mary's, Ontario. And, I touched on it saying that I really wanted to rebrand this show, even in its early stages, and it won't be rebranded for a very long time. At least I won't change it anyway. So I had this fascinating idea, this vision in the shower to change it. And when I started this show, I wasn't really sure which direction to go with it. I'm kind of like, I'll be honest, I get nervous at times. I'm still nervous every show I do. I'm a high-strung, anxious person at times. And, I've also, I don't mind revealing this on a show that I've been in a car accident before, and I still have a lot of chronic pain because of it. And so sitting and sometimes hosting a show is sometimes, what can I say? I don't know. I'm trying to, I'm trying to do everything I can and to stay sane while hosting a program. And this, I'm so passionate about this line of subject, I guess. I'm so passionate about this subject. Sometimes I lose the words because I'm trying to get used to talk radio and talk television as well, because I don't talk for a full hour at other in various jobs of my life. So with that being said, let's talk about this rebrand. I just want you to know, every week I come here and I want to bring you the best version of this show, the Sweet Spot Autographs, Memorabilia, or Memorabilia, Autographs, and more. And so I try every week, okay? And the best thing is that it's about other people being able to share their stories, and I want to give them a platform of sharing their stories. Because I think autographs and memorabilia, it's a huge part of sports, and for kids and for big kids alike. When a father goes with their son, it's not just the son that wants the autograph. Deep down inside, there is a feeling. There's a feeling that a father would get, a big kid gets when they see their son get a baseball thrown up to them. I was just speaking to my friend the other day, and sorry if I'm going off topic here for a moment, but this needs to be said. I was with my friend the other day, and he said, hey, Rob, if you ever want Madison, my 6-year-old, to go try and catch a baseball at the ballpark, go to the bullpen area of Rogers Center and try and get around the first row and see if you can get a baseball thrown up to Madison, because they normally throw baseballs up to kids all the time from up there. And I'm like, and I know when he's telling me this, he gets the greatest feel, because he told me it feels so good to know that his son got a baseball at the baseball game, and he can start his own collection, right? And it's that boyhood feeling that never goes away, that childhood feeling. It could be a girl, it could be a boy, girlhood feeling, because baseball, hey, look at that, Kim Ng, with the Miami Marlins, a huge milestone moment for Major League Baseball, becoming the first female GM with the Miami Marlins. So a huge kudos going out to her, and she worked her tail off. She climbed the ladder, and she got to where she got because she worked hard, very hard. And in this day and age, where you hear about inequality and such, that's like a milestone barrier that she broke through. I don't know if it's the same as like a Jackie Robinson. Maybe some people would put it as the same type of a milestone breakthrough, that you get a female GM working in upper management at the top of the food chain in baseball. Is it the same as Jackie Robinson and breaking the color barrier? I don't know. I don't want to say, because I don't want to get in trouble on this program. I don't really have an opinion. I think they're both big, important milestones in their own way, and it's huge. It's huge for this world, and it shows that it opens the eyes of other people, and what you can, and that anything is possible and should be possible. Okay. So that's that. Let's talk about this rebrand here. So the rebrand recap for you, why I did this rebrand and how I want you to bring your passion with autographs to this show. Okay. So the rebrand was, because I want you to bring your passion with autographs to this show. Okay. So for me, it's the sweet spot of a baseball. Okay. The sweet spot of a baseball I want signed is mostly what I collect. I also collect 8x10s, but my number one fascination is collecting baseball sweet spots, whoever I believe is worth the sweet spot. And you'll see this collection one day. I hope to show it to you. I don't like to show it off because I'm very, I pray that one day it can be the backdrop to this show, but I don't go like saying, hey, look at my collection, and da 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 da. It's very private to me, and there's like a story behind every one, and I feel like other people have that too, and why not connect like this and be able to share those stories. So again, I'm going sidetracked here, but sometimes the passion gets the better of me when it comes to autographs and memorabilia, and I think it's important to follow your passion with it. So in terms of the rebrand, like a couple of my guests have already done so. They brought their passion to the show. A couple of examples of collectors would be Bogdan out of Kirkland Lake. He has been a guest on this show a couple of times. And so has Phil Kane from Thornhill, Ontario. He's a Montreal Canadiens and Blue Jays collector. Sort of everything you could collect in Montreal Canadiens and Toronto Blue Jays stuff. Excuse me while I have that coffee. Last week I didn't have one, but this week I guess you could say I needed that coffee. So in terms of the rebrand, Bogdan from Kirkland Lake, he's been on this program before. He collects almost everything and anything when it comes to sports memorabilia. Bogdan, shout out to Bogdan. Thanks so much for, he likes to be called Bogsy. So Bogsy, we're going to call him Bogsy because I want him on this program again because he's so passionate, and his backdrop of his house, like his entire house, is autographs and memorabilia. And it's so amazing to me that he loves it so much. I think it's wonderful. You need to have something that a hobby in life. And if that's his hobby, whether you collect stamps or you collect coins, memorabilia and autographs is something special. They're all special. Whatever lights that fire inside of you to keep on pursuing your hobbies and your passions. Go through with it. Don't let anyone ever tell you can't be a stamp collector because it's old school, or so Bogsy's got an entire collection at his home that's, I think, is fascinating. And I'd like to still grill him on some of the items he has. And so he'll be a guest on this program, but he collects almost everything and anything when it comes to sports memorabilia and autographs, and even autographs from Hollywood A-listers. Bogsy does that. There was also, so in terms of Phil Kane, he had a couple of great 8x10s signed by Montreal Canadiens, old school, new school. So that was great. Hopefully Phil Kane will join me at some point again on this program. And that's what it's about. So, I've learned that Bogsy's an everything collector. I'm a sweet spot and an 8x10 collector for the most part. If you give me something that's 16x20, then sure. I'll add to it. It depends. Like, I'll be honest. I think I have one 16x20. And that's the Joe Carter jumping up and down around the bases after winning the 1993 World Series, and he signed that in baby blue paint pen, and it was like the greatest signature ever. And I can't wait to have that in a frame someday and have it in the office or the man cave, whatever, so to speak, wherever I might be able to broadcast from at some point. I hope it's there. So I hope I can put it up there. And so that's what I mean is that, for me, and that's why I called the show the Sweet Spot Memorabilia Autographs and More, because I want the show to be more me, but I want you to bring you and your number one fascination to the show. And of course, there'll be other stories outside of your number one fascination. But hey, maybe it's bats that you collect, and it has to be only Blue Jays on bats, or maybe it's a Stanley Cup that you collect, and it can only be Montreal Canadiens that sign that Stanley Cup. And I use that Montreal Canadiens example because I'm a huge Habs fan. I mean, I wouldn't say I've followed them a lot over the years, but I love the heritage franchise behind them. And when I lived there for a couple of years, I got to follow them even more. It was fantastic back in 2007 to 2009. So that's the reason for the rebrand. And they say you do your best thinking in the shower sometimes. I believe it's true. I mean, that's where it came up to me. I'm like, well, I'm fascinated with the sweet spot on a baseball being signed by people that I think are of value on there and special moments. But it's got to be people that I think are worth it. I've never sold an autograph in my life. You might be thinking, oh, well, Rob just wants that because he wants to put it up on eBay or something. No, not true. You can look it up. My name anywhere. There has been zero transaction of me ever selling an autograph. And it's not that I'm going to badmouth it. It's not to say that I'll never do that. I don't know. I don't know what kind of financial situation I might be in one day that I might have. I have no choice but to live, and I have to sell my autographs collection, which I pray I do not have to do. And I'm not going to hate on anybody that's going to be on this program that might be a seller or someone that buys from sites like eBay or Kijiji and such. I want to talk to those people. Everybody and anybody is welcome on this program that has to do with memorabilia, autographs, collecting stamps. Oh, look at that. See, I'll be honest on the show. I've been in touch with, I'll tell you, I'm going to have to get back to this. I'm in touch with, and this is not to show anything off, but this is, you know what? I'll save it for another show. I'm going to save it for another show because someone's messaging me. It has to do with autographs. And I'll tell you on another show because we don't have time on this show. Okay. So if you ever want, remind me if you're like, hey, Rob, what was that message about in regards to autographs? And you never touched on it on a future show. You can remind me, robdanielsonair@gmail.com. But I promise at some point, well, I hope to promise because it's something to do about an autograph coming in the mail to me. I hope I can receive it, and I hope it gets here, and I'll share that story on the show in a future show if it gets here. Okay. So the sweet spot, memorabilia, autographs, and more. And that's why. So I made the show more me with this rebrand, because I'm fascinated with the sweet spot on baseballs for who I believe should sign there. Whether it's Hall of Famers, former Blue Jays that were incredible, current Blue Jays that are incredible, because I'm a huge Jays fan. So, or Hall of Famers or anybody, Derek Jeter on the sweet spot, that's like worth like $700, but I've respected that man so much in terms of his baseball playing career. I would do anything for Derek Jeter sweet spot, but those are few and far between to get one. It's very difficult to get one of those. The Yankees don't sign often, and it's can't get everything you want in this world. Maybe one day. So trying to see when Aaron's going to be coming on. Aaron Zaretsky joins me. He's supposed to be at 12:25 this afternoon. He might be running a couple minutes late, or he might be joining shortly. But I wanted to touch on one of the stories I have here. So, I want you to bring your going back to the autograph, memorabilia, and more. I want you to bring what your fascination is to this show. Okay. So I've talked about the sweet spot numerous times for baseballs, and that is why I rebranded the show. And now it's what do you collect? What are you fascinated about so much in autographs that you feel like sharing and want to get the message out there, because you know what it feels like to collect, and it feels good inside, and it's a hobby. So what is it? That's what I'm going to ask you. It's kind of like, so what is your sweet spot, essentially, right? Like for me, it's baseball sweet spot. So it could be posters and, and have it, maybe it's like, posters that are all baseball players from all different kinds of baseball players. And, I apologize. I think have I linked up with Aaron here? Hold on a minute. Am I still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do we have? Hold on. Tap to speak.
Hi, Rob. How are you? How are you doing? Yes, I can hear you.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thank you so much for being on the program. I know I was. Hold on a second. A little bit of technical difficulty there. Let me just try and get the camera angle of the show better here for where I am sitting. Can you see me okay from here?
Yes, yeah, I can see you, and you're coming in good. So is this like pre-recorded or is it live?
No, right now we are. So right now we're live on the Barn Burner TV network, and we are live on ZINGOTV channel 250 on smart televisions 2016 and newer. And the show will be available on 122 different streaming platforms in 48 hours time, and it's like a bunch of apps that'll be available via iHeart, the audio. It'll be on several radio stations out of market from Toronto. It'll be on like Spotify, Apple, I believe, Radio Public, all kinds of apps and such, where you'll be able to get the audio. 122 different platforms.
Oh wow, that's a lot. That's incredible.
It is incredible. It's fantastic. So for those that don't know or just joining the program, this is the Sweet Spot memorabilia, autographs, and more. And my guest this afternoon is Aaron Zaretsky, and he is a former student of mine at Seneca College. And I was also mentioning off the top of the show that Aaron and I have crossed paths on several occasions at the ballpark at Rogers Center. We both do a little bit of behind the scene work at the ballpark on game days, and we've been both missing the ballpark quite a bit, actually, because of COVID-19. And hopefully we pray that things can get back to normal at some point, hopefully sooner than later. So I was talking, Aaron, about before you joined on here that I had switched the what did I switch? I switched the name of the show, because right now in the background it says the Autograph and Memorabilia Show, but I want it, so as of last week, it's called the Sweet Spot Memorabilia, Autographs, and More. And the Sweet Spot, because I've been so fascinated with getting baseball players to sign the Sweet Spot. And I'll show you one actually now, if you don't mind. Before we get to your stories, I was going to share a couple of stories, but I'll only share one of them because I know we're tight for time usually, and I could talk all day about autographs, but I want to get to what your autographs are all about. But you and I,
no worries.
this is a fascinating one, and this happened actually, I want to say, before I started. I think this happened the season before the bat flip. So this is a story, and I'll tell it to you, and you might be fascinated by it as well. So I have a few Jose Bautista stories, right? And I went to go see them on the road in Baltimore and several ballparks in the U.S., Baltimore being one of them. And, he signed for a lot of people there. But he also said, so this is what happened, was that, I've had mixed feelings. I don't speak bad about anybody, but I've run in, I guess it depends on, the day and his mood, what you're going to get from him, because, in terms of his, and you've seen it in the media when he's interviewed, or, one example I can remember is when, I guess there was a little bit of stealing the spotlight on the day when pitchers and catchers reported to spring training that one year, and he had announced what he wanted in his contract, so to speak. You might remember that, and that sort of stole the spotlight away from pitchers and catchers reporting to spring camp. So for me, one of the experiences was I went all the way to Baltimore and to go watch him, and then I was that close that I could say, hey, Jose, I came all the way from I came all the way from Toronto to go see you play today in Baltimore. And then he responded with, well, I came all the way from the Dominican to come play here today. That's how he responded. And I was like, I came all the way from Toronto to come see you. And then he's like, yeah, that's nice. Well, I came all the way from the Dominican. And I'm like, wow, okay. Talk about appreciating
Yeah.
who you like, appreciating your fans. But okay, I did not expect that. And then it's like I laughed it off like you did. I was like, wow, I guess it's kind of like a sense of humor he has, but it's an interesting one for sure.
Yeah.
So but that being said, I think deep down inside he is he's a good guy. Like, I mean, he'll speak his mind and such, but when I saw him in Baltimore, he signed for a long time. He signed for fans in Baltimore, not even your home ballpark, for about 30 minutes on top of the dugout at Camden Yards in Baltimore. And I thought that was,
wow.
I thought that was incredible. And I've seen him but it goes hot and cold with him all the time. So it's like, it'll make me happy to know that he signed there. And then all of a sudden it's like I'm in, so I'm so enthused that he signed in Baltimore, and that was fantastic. I wasn't so happy with the remark he made, but I laughed it off anyway. And I thought, okay, that's it. That, he's allowed that. The guy's a millionaire. And then I end up in Philadelphia one day, and he signed a picture of he and I meeting at, where did we meet? We met at this basketball, where the Raptors 905 play in Mississauga? What's the name of that place? What's the arena?
Used to be called, I think it's now called the Paramount Center.
Yeah.
Called the H.E.R Center.
That's right. It was the H.E.R Center at the time when he was there, and it was like a celebrity basketball game, and he was one of the celebrities there. And I don't think it was that. So that's where I got a picture with him. And then the following year, I was in Philadelphia, and very nice enough to be at the batting practice in Philadelphia, and he was basically he was signing there for a little bit, or like my cousin enticed them to come on by. Like sometimes you got to speak up more than just saying like, hey, Jose, come by, can you sign something for my son or something. It's got to be more like my cousin said something like, Jose, I know you've had fans, but this guy is an ultimate fan. He came all the way from Canada today. He wants to see, like, he does not want to leave this ballpark without getting your autograph. And he said that like really loud. And this is like when it was quiet still in the stadium. There's BP. So he comes over and he actually signs that photo of he and I from the H.E.R Center from the year before. And then that's how you can tell I'm not into autographs for money whatsoever. It's like I want a picture of me and Jose signed together. And then so he signs it. He takes my gray Sharpie and then he signs it. And he's like, all right, thanks, man. By the way, your pen sucks. And he's just like, and then
You said that.
off. Yeah, he's like, all right, have a great day, man. By the way, your pen sucks. And it was because it was like here's a Sharpie, for example, but the writing was not. It was a little bit faded. It wasn't like a fresh Sharpie. So he literally said he speaks his mind. He'll say that, and then I've run into an occasion where, I've seen him before, and he won't sign the bat flip photo because that was that was like in an era. I want to say from 2015 to 2018. I don't want to say what it is now. I don't know, like, because he's not playing any longer. I don't know if he's allowed to sign it, but he was in a contract where he was only allowed to sign the bat flip photo for a certain company. I'm not 100% who it was, but it's like he had like 800 or 900 copies originally for one company, and he was signed to a company where he could only sign that photo for for it to be on sale, maybe with auctions and such, but he wasn't allowed to sign it unless it was for this company. And so that I was turned down that way by him. Unfortunately, I was like, dang, like that was a moment that in history, because that's a part of my collecting habits is 8x10s. If I could get a Batista, which I do have, like two gorgeous copies, one in black and white and one of the originals of him with the bat flip, and it'll still go in my man cave. It'll be unsigned, but luckily it'll go next to this, thankfully. I hope, if you can see that up close. Can you see?
Yeah, signed baseball.
Yeah, so that's hold on, I'll try and get out of the one thing. So this is a grateful for a Jose Batista sweet spot. And
nice.
this happened, I want to say the season before the bat flip, when I was a fan at the ballpark, and I went early for batting practice, and I remember he was just coming off of an injury. He had a lot of people he signed, and this was in Toronto, and and I signed for him, he signed, and it was an incredible moment. I was able to get two of them, but I'm the kind of collector that I'm very generous, and I will give back when I feel is the right to give back. And my friend is a huge Batista fan. He was at the bat flip game, so I was at it as well. And I thought what would go perfectly for him for his birthday, and I have this on social media from my past, is like, I gave him an official picture from PhotoFile, which is the one, like the official picture, manager, like they produce the photos for Major League Baseball. And so I gave him that picture, sort of like in a nice little collection case of, it's like the picture of the bat flip. And then right beside it was the baseball Jose Batista signed on the sweet spot, kind of thing, just to know that he has that memory of one of the greatest Blue Jays to ever wear the uniform, right? And so I pass on the good karma of any time I felt like I won the lottery by going to the ballpark early and getting an autograph that I've always wanted. And so it's like I got two, but you know what? I'm going to give one to my best friend who loved him so much, was at that bat flip game. And I know he's a collector as well, and I'm going to be nice enough and pass it on and try and pass on good karma, kind of thing. So that's one of the stories behind one of my signatures this week from Jose Bautista there. But enough about me, because I know I've babbled on quite a bit, and you're wondering, well, where can I get to my stuff? You do have some time here, and of course, I'm not going to leave this program without you showing off. Or I don't want to say it's showing off. It's more like sharing, because everybody's got a story, if they're a collector, behind some of it, whether you paid for it, whether you were in line somewhere for a couple hours, or I want to know what it is. And everybody's got unique stories, I think, a lot of the time. So again, my guest here on the program today, we're on the Barn Burner Network and ZINGOTV channel 250, is Aaron Zaretsky, my former student from Seneca College in the broadcasting program there. And we also have crossed paths over the last little while at the ballpark in Toronto at Rogers Centre, doing some game day work behind the scenes for the Blue Jays. So Aaron is here, and I noticed the picture that he sent me, because I tend to try and promote the guests that are going to be on the program, because I like that part of it. I want to hear their stories. And Aaron had an interesting photo that he sent, like a profile photo of him and his DeRozan jersey in the background. And I'm like, okay, well, of course, that's got to be the first story that I pick his brain on. That's an interesting one, because that doesn't look like a Raptors jersey. That looks like it could be a jersey from anything. Like it could be like his high school jersey. What is that jersey? Tell me the story behind that DeRozan jersey that you have, because it looks like a unique piece.
Yes. So it's actually an NBA All-Star jersey from when the All-Star game was here in Toronto back in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So
and was that the one that he wore, like, for the All-Star game?
No, it's a replica. It's
okay.
a replica that would sell like in the sports stores, like right where Scotiabank Arena is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was like on the Thursday of the All-Star weekend, because NBA All-Star weekend's a big thing. So I went down there to the sports store near Scotiabank Arena, and was able to see DeRozan, and so I have the jersey here. If you could see it. So I saw him, and
hold on,
and he signed it. Yeah.
Let me see it. Yeah.
So
he signed it.
Yeah. So I got his autograph, because he was there signing autographs to, I guess, promote the All-Star game. So right then you can see here, that's the front side, the east side. And yeah, so when I saw him, he was such a genuine person, like so nice, so caring, considerate, compassionate, like, because he was with his wife and his kid there, and just, and he's, one of the best Raptors to ever play. So it was just such a great guy. And, I told him it's such an honor to meet you. And yeah, so incredible. I was so lucky to see him.
Yeah. And
right.
So how did you get the autograph, though? Like, how were you able to call him over to be able to sign it? Like, this is something that, and again, I host this show to still learn about it, because I have some fascinations around baseball and hockey autographs, but I wonder what goes on in other sports. Maybe it's similar, but if you're at a basketball arena, do the players ever sign? When do they sign? Is there a designated time where you can show up early and hope that you can get an autograph? How does it work?
Yeah, I think for that, like, I think if you get there before the game, like maybe an hour or so before the game, but this was more like kind of like, I guess, maybe like an official one, where he was making an appearance at the sports store, and the store had this promotion where, like, you have to spend an item, like you have to spend, like, I think $100 or so, and then you get like a wristband to wait in line. And then as you're waiting in line, then you're able to see him, because he was like sitting down, signing autographs, not just to me, right, but to a bunch of people for the All-Star weekend. So that was how I was able to see him.
Nice. So that was the appearance was happening like attached to the Scotiabank Arena at the store there or something?
Yes.
Okay. What year was that?
2016, when it was here, the NBA All-Star game in Toronto.
Amazing. And did you get to go to the All-Star game or no?
No. So tickets were way too much online, and then resell so much. But continuing that All-Star weekend, I know on the Saturday, right, there were so many. I went down to Eden Center, and there were like so many basketball players scheduled to like make appearances, to sign autographs at various stores at the Eden Center. And I know that at the sports store, Champ Sports there, I knew that like Damari Carroll of the Toronto Raptors was going to be there signing autographs, followed by Anthony Davis, who was with the New Orleans Pelicans at the time. So knowing that ahead of time, like I had with the Anthony Davis jersey with me, so I'm like, okay, you know what? Like I want to see Damari Carroll, but if I'm able to see Anthony Davis, let me just take this with, just in case. So I went down to Eden Center. It was a long lineup, and the way they had it, like they were both, Carroll and Davis were both back to back, 1 hour each. So get there, it's a long lineup, and it's like I'm not able to get both, right? Because if you get one, like I won't be able to get one, then re-enter the line and get the second player.
Yeah.
So I go there wanting to see Damari Carroll, because was with the Toronto Raptors at the time, and get there, long line, wasn't able to see him because I got there late,
Yeah.
but I was able to see Anthony Davis.
Okay.
So just 1 second here.
Yeah.
So able to see Anthony Davis, and he signed this jersey
Anthony
that I
Davis.
have.
Nice. Oh, I see it upside down. Can you flip it up one the other way, by any chance? Or no?
Yeah. Is that?
Let me see.
Is that okay?
Just put it a little lower. Yeah, there's the autograph. I see it. Yeah, so that's Anthony Davis.
Yes, yeah, who was with New Orleans at the time, and I saw him. That's the front of the jersey right there.
And you see, okay, what jersey is that? That's his.
It's like an alternate, like a third jersey that New Orleans had at the time.
Okay,
it's like a New Orleans, Louisiana.
And you see, like, this is where I'm confused in autographs and memorabilia, and educate me, because I don't know everything. I'm only trying to host this program and see where it goes. And I know some stuff. I don't know everything. And so I know in the hockey world, you want to get the number signed on the back and have that as an official collector's item. But in the basketball world, how do you know which number to get signed? Do you want the back of the number signed, or do you want the front jersey number signed? How does that work? Or do you not?
I would say, yeah. I would say like the back of the number, so that, because it has the name, and that like if a collector wants to frame the jersey, then it shows the player and then the number.
Look at that
with the autograph, right? Because if you want a jersey of the front, then it kind of get lost.
Yes.
Like if you know the player, right? But
makes
for
sense.
Casual, right?
I should have known that before that, but 100%, that's right. Because I totally didn't think of it. It slipped my mind for a second, where I was like, yeah, if you want to put that on display, it's like, whoever, as an example, if you collect old school Raptors, you want Damon Stoudemire, it says Stoudemire, and it's a Raptors jersey, and or it says, Kawhi Leonard, or it'll say Leonard. So I totally know what you mean. So that's great. You got that on the back. Do you plan to display that in your man cave, your office, at some point?
Yeah, I have it hanging up in the closet in my room.
Yeah, but no, you don't want to do like a full out frame for it, or?
Maybe. Not like, I haven't thought about it, but yeah, and with that technique, I guess, right? Like I didn't know about that until about 4 years ago. So like I have like autographs prior to that where it's like they signed the front of the jersey.
Yeah.
And I can show you one of them right now.
Sure.
Yeah, so it was like a few years ago. So this story, it was like a few years ago at Yorkdale. I think it was like a Scotiabank was just opening up, grand opening, and like Scotiabank, they have like a partnership with NHL players, past and present.
Okay.
So one of the past players, I guess, the past players, a great player, one of the greatest players in NHL history, you could say he's the greatest of
Yeah.
all time, Wayne Gretzky,
Oh, no way.
was
Yeah.
there. So I saw him, and I was fortunate enough to get this jersey signed. So you can see I had
Wow.
the front of the front.
Yeah.
See the autographs right there, Edmonton
Yeah.
Oilers, right, and then the back
Is the Gretzky, is that an official jersey or a replica? What is that?
it's a replica. It's like an authentic. They say it's like an authentic replica.
Okay, so yeah, I think I know
Jersey.
what you mean. It's the version just before the straps, right? Like the straps, if there were straps in there, the fighting straps that they keep on so the jersey doesn't come off when they have a fight on the ice. I think yours
Yes.
might be the jersey just before the straps, right? Unless those had the straps.
Yeah, this one has the straps. You could see
Oh,
it
then that's official. Man, you got
right
an
there.
official Gretzky jersey
Yes,
sign. And it's CCM on the bottom. Is there any NHL crest anywhere?
CCM right. So you can see CCM there.
Yeah.
There's no NHL here, but it does say officially licensed. So I guess yeah, it'd be an authentic.
If it's
Um,
got the straps, I'm fairly certain. You know what you need to do? You need to bring that to try and get it like authenticated to figure out what's going on with that. Because normally I would see an NHL crest somewhere on there, but if it has the straps, then that means it's the real deal. I would think.
Yeah, I would think so too. Like it's not like a game worn or team issued jersey, but I think it's one of those jerseys that the players would wear,
Yeah.
like during the season.
Wow, incredible. So you had that on hand and you knew where you were going. Which event was it that you got in there to see if you could get them?
Yeah, it was a Scotiabank a grand opening, huh? At
Oh, wow.
Yorkdale. Yeah.
At Yorkdale.
Yes.
There must have been a massive lineup for him.
Oh, there was.
Yeah, yeah.
There
I
was. Yeah, I
agree.
waited quite a bit in line, and when I finally saw him, like just in awe, right? Because
Yeah,
arguably the greatest hockey player of all time, and it's
yeah,
just being so close to like a Hall of Famer, right? Like a such a great player. Just yeah,
yeah,
I was just speechless when I saw him.
yeah. But I was speaking to a buddy the other day, a Hall of Fame player. I'm not so sure about Hall of Fame manager behind the bench. That's what a buddy of mine told me. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah. More so Hall of Fame player. It's interesting how some people come out to be the best players, not the greatest coaches, or they're not the greatest players, but they're the best coaches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny how that works. Like, yeah, because there are guys that played not so good, but then they become a manager, and all of a sudden they're like so great. Because I could just think off the top of my head, I think of like a Joe Torre, where he played in the big leagues.
I'm sorry.
Was
Yeah.
sorry.
Sorry to cut you off. They're giving me 15 seconds. Gosh, you see how fast the time goes there? What did you want to
Yeah.
get in there quick?
Yeah. So just quickly,
Yeah.
at 2017, the Argos won the Grey Cup. So I
Yeah.
went to the rally a couple of days ago, Nathan Phillips Square, and I got
Yeah.
Ricky Ray.
Oh
This
my gosh, dude.
I
So
was
you're
able
all
to
about
see
the
him.
jerseys. Casual collecting jerseys.
Mostly, yeah. So I was able to see Ricky Ray, such incredible. And then if I have some time, I know that there would be like a Toronto card show,
Yeah.
like years ago. So they would have some players. So I got this. This is Eddie Shack. You can see right
Nice.
there. This is Eddie Shack signed photo. The late Eddie Shack. I was able to see him. Such a great person. So humble.
Okay. We got it. We got to sign off here. So listen, Aaron. So would you say you're a jersey collector of all sports, basically?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Listen, I
Pretty
want to thank
much.
you so much for joining me today, Aaron Zaretsky. He's got so look at that. I'm gonna have to have you back
Yeah,
on the
there's a
program.
Johnny Bauer.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
Aaron Zaretsky, thank you so much. We're on the Barnburner TV network. We are also on ZingoTV channel 250. Thank you so much to Giancarlo Alino, who is our producer on a weekly basis. We're not on TSN this week. Next week we will be. Thank you to Eduardo Harari and anyone for listening today. We will see you next week back on The Sweet Spot, memorabilia, autographs, and more. Thanks again, Aaron.